So we have some big news to share on this episode of the podcast. Very happy to share this news. And if you've been through this, you know how exciting it is. And it's something that we've known for a few months now. And we have finally revealed it to the public not too long ago. This week. I said it on my radio show and then went on social media with it that, babe, we are...
expecting a baby.
Expecting number 3. Oh, my God.
Did you start balding yet?
My hair is turning gray already.
It's good.
It's funny because we've been getting a lot of congratulatory messages. Everybody's like,
Yes,
congratulations, blah, blah, blah. We're talking to a lot of parents who have 3 kids.
We have.
Right?
Just this past weekend, we came across a lot of people who have 3 kids.
Getting a lot of advice.
Yep, lots of advice.
And there's one thing I've noticed, babe, every woman is like, oh my God, it's amazing. And every dad is like, bro, are you crazy? Like, what?
That's been the first reaction.
Like, what the hell are you doing, Vin? Like, seriously, what's wrong with you? You're nuts. I'm happy for you. Yeah. But what the hell are you doing,
sure
bro?
You know what you're doing?
So it's
that's why we need to talk to people that have 3 kids.
Yeah, to get some advice.
Because those who don't have 3 kids or have 1 or 2 may not necessarily know what it's like, what the challenges may be like with having 3 kids.
That's it. So now so many questions arise. And those of you who have been through it, or maybe you're thinking of making that jump, there's so many things you got to think of. The car seats, the home situation. It's a lot of homes have 3 bedrooms. They don't have the 4th bedroom. Are your 2 kids going to share a room? Now with car seats, we're thinking of like, okay, do we have to get new car seats because you have to fit all the 3 car seats?
Do we get new cars too?
No, now you're jumping the gun. You see one thing at a time. But there's so many stresses that come along with,
of course they do,
having a 3rd kid. And how are you feeling, babe? First of all, the pregnancy. How's that going so far?
Oh, much better now. In 15 weeks.
First trimester was a bit of a bitch.
First trimester was awful because I had just found out I was pregnant 2 weeks after starting back at work full time.
Crazy.
So I was working full time, battling traffic, coming home to take care of our kids, and doing part 2 at home after working a full day at the hospital. And there was moments throughout the day where it would come in waves of this fatigue.
Yeah, you're really tired.
I never felt that way in my life, like ever. And it's awful. Like, I don't even remember feeling that way with our first or second.
Yeah. Every pregnancy is different. You can tell. And everyone's like, maybe it's a boy now. Maybe it's a boy because you're more hungry.
Like, what are you craving? I'm like, nothing. Like, oh, okay. Because are you salty? Are you craving salty? Are you craving sweet? I said, it depends the day. One day I want a bag of chips. The next day I want a tub of ice cream. Like, it really depends.
In terms of having a 3rd, though, as a mom and as a parent, what's going through your head now? Like, you're not thinking of what life's going to be like with 3 kids?
A little bit. But it's not really my main focus right now. Like I said, I'm just trying to grow this baby.
I get it.
And worry about our 2 little girls that we have in our house. And when the day comes, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
and we'll see what the transition is like, because we know what it's like going from 1 to 2. Now we're going to learn what it's like to go from 2 to 3.
Yeah.
I think it might be a touch easier because I'm going to be home with a baby while our daughters are both in daycare during the day.
Yeah, true.
So it's almost like you and I have said, it's almost going to feel like we're going to have 1 child for the majority of the day while the kids are in daycare.
Yeah.
So I'm anticipating it to not be so stressful from the get-go. Like the way it was when we gave birth to Maya, because Sia was 17 months and she was home, she's still a baby.
Yeah.
So that I found was chaotic. It's like taking care of 2 babies at the same time, changing 2 sets of diapers, like changing, bathing them, taking care of them.
I think it's going to be chaotic. I think it's going to be, I don't know, as a man, we tend to think like, oh my God, how are we going to do this? How am I going to make enough money? Am I going to be able to pull my weight? What am I going to be able to take care of my family? Now there's more responsibility. Now a 3rd kid is like, okay, now we have to save for them for school. We have to pay their daycare.
So how is all this making you feel?
I'm a little like, there's a lot going on in my brain that I don't really open up too much about to you because I'm like, it's just a bunch of thoughts and fears and insecurities of,
which I think is legit.
Yeah,
understandable and totally normal. And don't think like as a mother too, I'm not thinking about all that. I just don't want to burden us with those thoughts. And we will cross that bridge when the time comes. I think we just have to tackle one step at a time.
That's it. Yeah, you can't look too far ahead. I think I'm starting to learn that now as a parent. Like, don't think too much like, oh, okay, when they're 4 or 5 years old, they're going to have to do this, or they're going to have activities, and they're going to have this, and they're going to have that. It's like, let's enjoy the moment, right? Just enjoy
as much as possible. We're both fortunate. We're both working. We have a roof over our head.
Yeah.
We have healthy children. Knock on wood, the baby's healthy too. So I think as long as we have all that, it should be smooth sailing.
Yeah.
For the most part. Yes, challenges will come up.
Of course. And one of the questions, or one of the comments we've been getting the most, babe, is about the sex. Because we have 2 girls, everyone's like, oh my God, it's going to be the boy, isn't it? And then if you don't get the boy, Vanny, you're going to go for number 4, aren't you? Shut up.
Stop. Oh, you're going to go for number 4 if the third one is a girl. No, I'm done. Like this time, and you know me, over the last few years, like the last 2 years with Maya, I never felt like I was done. But now with this pregnancy, how I feel, and knowing that we're bringing a third child into this world, we're done. You're going to go and get snipped as soon as possible after I give birth.
Chip.
So none of this fourth business. For those of you that have 4 kids or more, God bless you. I don't know how you do it. I wanted 4 kids because I'm an only child.
Okay.
No, but I always said I wanted 4 kids. My ideal, in my life, if I could have planned everything, 2 boys, 2 girls, live a happy little life on the prairie. And that's
with
it.
a picket fence and a fucking huge cottage. Yeah, of course.
Cottage and so no, life doesn't work that way.
I know.
And no, I can honestly say we'll be done after this.
What's funny is that I think people think, and I have said it a few times, but no, I never really pushed it. People really think I want a boy so bad. I wouldn't mind having a boy.
Yeah, of course not.
But I honestly, you just want the baby to be healthy. I know you hear people say that all the time. It's true.
It's not a cliche in any way.
Yeah.
You really just want baby to be healthy.
But it's a cliche for a reason, because it's true. And we have 2 beautiful girls, and once as a dad you have 2 girls, you're like, oh my God, being a girl dad is amazing. It's really we haven't experienced the craziness yet of the teenage years or anything like that, but
we will.
But it's a beautiful thing. So I'm like, if I have another girl, then
they're gonna be dada. They love their dada. I feel like chopped liver around here sometimes. They're just like the maid. So, you're very fortunate in that sense. Like I always felt like I was a daddy's girl, and I really truly think our girls are daddy's girls too.
So far. Another comment we got, or a question we got, and maybe you get this too if you've had multiple kids, like 3 or 4 or 5 kids, people say, was it an oops? Did it just happen?
That's a question, yeah.
I know. And should we explain? We should explain how it was
I'd like to hear your version.
My version?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll say my version. I'm gonna
correct you along the way.
I'm gonna be as transparent as possible here. As I always try to do that as much as I can on my show and on this podcast. So
you wear your heart on your sleeve.
I was okay with 2. I was happy. I was content. Personally, I felt we were done until Tina had this little look on her face of, oh, babe, so like, are we gonna have another? We should talk about it. I'm like, but okay, go ahead.
Stop you there.
Okay.
Because when Maya turned a year old, we said no talking about it until Maya was a year old. So that was January of 2021.
That's true.
And they were like, nah, I'm not ready to talk about it. So we said, give us another 6 months or so. Wait till she grows up. Let's see what it's like having 2 girls. And we'll go from there. And then lo and behold, those 6 months came up really fast.
Like really quick.
Really quick. So one day I just looked at you. We were out for a walk, and I think I just said, "Do we try for number 3? How are you feeling about it? Are you really like done?" And I need to like convince you the way I know a friend of mine. It took her 5 years to convince her husband for a 3rd child. So
I think. Well, what was happening was we were starting to clear out all of the baby stuff.
Yeah, which made you feel so good.
No, I was like,
clean out the house.
Yes, and I was saying, okay, babe, where are we gonna put this? Maybe should I donate it, or who can we give it to? And you're like, what do you mean? What if we have another one? And I'm like, really? And that's when, and then we would change the subject. That happened a few times.
It did.
And
I don't think we were both ready to talk about it.
No, but in my mind, I'm like, okay, we have 2 beautiful, healthy kids. Life is good. We're okay.
We're almost out of diapers.
Yes, we're getting out of that chaos. We had 2 kids, 2 kids 17 months apart. And then when we went for that long walk, Tina and I, that you mentioned, we went on the boardwalk. We sat into Bellevue, if you know where it is. It's beautiful in the summer. And we literally stopped for like a good hour and a half, maybe.
Yeah, we did.
And we're like, we really need to make this decision now. Like, we need to come up with a plan, because like, we're not getting any younger. I don't want to have a kid in 5 years. I don't know about you.
No,
you just want to get it done.
Not. No.
So we came up with, we'll see what happens. We won't be as careful until Christmas. So this was July, and we said we'll give ourselves till Christmas. That was the deal we made. Exactly. Remember? So I think
we were both content with that. We said, if God wants, between now and Christmas, we'll conceive. Yeah. If this is our destiny to have 2 children, then I would feel like, okay, this is it.
So it was more for closure on your part,
more closure, and for me not to have the thought in the back of my head until the day I die, what if? How come we didn't go for the 3rd? What would have life been like with 3? So I was already thinking about all that. Plus, maybe I'll be honest, I maybe had a bit of baby fever because some people around me were having kids.
Yeah, I know. I can see. I
was like, I'm at the baby stage.
We'd go to the park with some daycare parents with their kids, and then one of our friends has it was 5-6 month old, whatever, and you just wouldn't let her go for the whole.
I think I held her for the whole hour we were at the park.
Man, I'm like, babe, what the hell? You're really feeling it, but after having that discussion, I can see, and I think that's the difference between men and women a lot. Mind you, we're starting to see both sides now because we're starting to see some couples where the man really wants one, and
yeah, of course,
sometimes the woman doesn't. But you're like, I have baby fever. I'm not done. And what's really weird is that month. We were talking to a few people. We went to a party, the 90s party, and you met a couple who was in their 50s. Do you remember this? Or maybe late 40s. And what happened? You remember? They have 2 and they regretted it.
And then the wife said, I lived my whole life regretting not having a 3rd, or the idea of knowing that we never tried for the 3rd.
And that was the same week we went for the walk, I think, the same time.
That was a sign. I think it was the next day or the 2 days later.
And everybody you were talking to who had more than 2 kids said do it.
Yeah.
Everybody said it.
They're all like, the jump from 1 to 2 is harder than 2 to 3. So I kind of, maybe in a year from now, we'll come on this podcast and I'll tell you whether or not that saying is true.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to believe it, but I don't know if it's going to be truthful for us.
Yeah, and we were also very fortunate. It happened quick. We had the conversation in July to expand our family, and then by
beginning of September.
It was beginning of September. Shit.
The week before I went back to work. I'm pretty sure that's when I conceived.
Yeah, and then so Tina was off work for almost 3.5 years, and then you had to tell your work that
2 weeks in.
Listen, I'm going on mat leave again.
I'm like, hi, I'm pregnant. But like, you just came back. I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. It happened.
So now there's challenges that I wouldn't say challenges, but decisions we have to make in terms of, do we renovate our house? Do we move? We're going to have to make some moves, and then you don't want the kids to, you don't want to take halfway through school. They're going to have to change schools or something. Like, we don't want that, right?
We'll cross that bridge when the time comes. We're open. Hey, if you know a house that's for sale, 4 bedrooms in the West Island, let us know, please. But it definitely decisions we need to do. Like, we've already decided about our car situation, that we're going to swap cars for at least a year.
We have no choice.
I'm going to take your SUV and you're going to take my car to work.
It's just so many things now you have to think about.
We're going to make it work. The girls C and Maya are going to share a room, and the baby's going to get the smaller room, and I'll turn that into the nursery. I gotta get a couple of pieces of furniture. Big deal. There are pieces of furniture that are gonna stay with them for years.
I guess there's always a solution. We used to see the way our parents' generation, the generations before that, the way they grew up,
like us or smaller, and they had
homes,
6 to 10 people living in the houses.
Yeah.
My mother grew up in a house when she was a child. There were 10 people with 1 bathroom.
That's in a bungalow.
A bungalow. Yeah, bungalow's huge, but still 1 bathroom, and they made it work.
That's the thing. I feel like when we've talked about it on the podcast, how we feel like we're a little spoiled now.
We are. Times have changed, though.
They have changed a lot. They've changed a lot.
Our lifestyle has changed. Everything has changed.
It's because we were given so much. I think that's why. But if you have any advice, if you have 3 children, any advice or anything you want to pass along, it's funny. Everybody says, well, you can't have 3 without 4. And I'm like, what? No, I
disagree with that, because all the people that we know that have 3, we're done at 3.
Right? Yeah, you're outnumbered now.
You're outnumbered.
Oh, yeah, you're not man-to-man coverage anymore, Vin. Now you're zone defense. I swear to God.
Last night, weren't you?
I was told it last night, the day before, all of my Facebook comments, Instagram, hey, now it's zone coverage. You're going to have to play the penalty kill. I'm like, all right, man. Like, everyone says the same shit. It's just... It's funny.
It's funny. And it's going to be fun to do a gender reveal, which we're planning to do on Christmas Eve, which is my birthday.
Yeah. So December 24th, we just talked about it. I think we'll go live on Instagram. Yeah. We'll do a whole thing. We got the hockey puck. Great idea.
Yeah, I knew it. It was like a winter gender reveal. You love hockey. Let's fill the pucks with pink or blue, and we'll have you shoot it.
We're gonna find out. So if you want to watch it, it's gonna be Christmas Eve. We'll let you know the time as we lead up to there, and we'll go live on Marriage Fastlane or Cousin Vinny MTL, one or the other, and we'll invite you to be part of that beautiful moment. We'll be with some very close family of ours. The plan is to do it in front of our house and to do it on the driveway.
Yeah, we just came up with this idea like 20 minutes ago. So we haven't thrown it out to anybody yet. I guess you're the first ones to hear about it.
We haven't flushed it out.
If you're listening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know who you are if you're listening.
You know who you are. Yeah. You're listening. You'll be invited to our house December 24th.
You know, a lot of people, it's funny because I guess we're very open about what we do, right? Like we don't have to share that with people on social media and stuff, but I think it's just something that we've always done as a couple and as a family. We try to be as open and as honest and as vulnerable as possible, and I think sharing these moments it goes to show you that we all kind of do similar things. And it's fun to have you involved in the process.
And it's funny, as soon as we told people we're pregnant, they're like, oh, do you know if it's a boy or a girl? Yeah. I said, no, we're going to do a gender reveal. And they're like, oh, you have to let us know what you're having.
Yeah, it's exciting.
It's exciting. And it's even more exciting when it's coming from people who I don't expect them to be so excited about whether we're having a boy or a girl. And I'm getting stopped at work and through people that we're just meeting in the community, people who we barely know. Of course, our friends and our family will always be the first to find out.
Yeah.
But it's just so heartwarming to get the love from everybody who we've told that we're expecting, and they're like, okay, please let us know after the gender reveal what you're having. Are you going to be doing it on social media? So I guess you just answered that question.
Yeah, why not? Not?
And it's part of it. We like to share our life, like you mentioned, on social media. And even when we had the gender reveal for Maya, ironically, it was August. We celebrated Sia's first birthday on August 24th, 24, 25. These are numbers that are meaningful to us. And it's going to be kind of special to do it on December 24th and have you have you shoot a puck, a hockey puck. You whack the piñata at Sia's birthday.
Yes, I whacked it.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
Nothing. The way you said it made me laugh.
It's true.
But I
whack that piñata to pieces.
Yeah,
to find that word. There was more pink dust in there.
Yeah, and then I started crying. But it's funny. I am overwhelmed. For me personally, I am overwhelmed by the amount of love that has come in, but also the amount of interest in our life. I always find it strange because I'm like, we're just normal everyday people, living the same type of life that most of you listening are, or that we run into around where we live, and listeners that I have and stuff. But there seems to be this genuine interest in what we go through, and I think that's why we do the podcast, and now we're going through another change in our life,
which some of you might be also experiencing. Going from 2 to 3 or any kind of change. Maybe it's your first pregnancy.
Yeah,
I know you can relate a little bit with through our stories that we've shared on the podcast. So we truly appreciate all the love that we're getting after we made the announcement that we're expecting our third child. So thank you very much for all the love and all the support we've been receiving in person and online. Yeah,
we appreciate it. And one thing too I need to mention is that when I announced this pregnancy on my radio show, and then we went public with it on social media, I do think of those of you who have trouble conceiving, those of you who have maybe have gone through stress for years and had to do in vitro, we're very sensitive to that, and we're very mindful of that. Very much so, because we know a lot of people who have gone through those situations. People in our life, friends of ours, and we've known friends, family who have gone through things. We're very aware of that, and we don't want to come across as, or boasting or. Yeah, exactly. We're very respectful of those situations. This is just our personal experience and situation that we're going through. So I just wanted to get that out there. Yes, of course, it's very important to address that. Yeah, yes. I think it's important because there's a lot of you who perhaps are going through things right now, or who have And we can't imagine how tough that is on a couple. The stress that it brings, I can't imagine.
I can't imagine, because I remember when we were trying to conceive the first time, and we didn't conceive right away in the first month, and
we were already fighting.
We were already fighting a month in. I was like, "Whoa, relax!
Yeah.
You got to give yourself 6 months to a year."
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't always happen on the first try, but you're like, yeah, it happened to my dad, my brother, this one, that one. I said, doesn't matter. We don't have the same body as them. We're not going through the same life experiences, the stresses on our body, our hormones. Like, there's so many factors that play into why somebody can and cannot conceive.
Because we all think growing up, like, oh, if you don't wear a condom, pregnancy is going to happen right away or something. That's how we all kind of grew up, you know?
Well, yeah.
But it doesn't happen so easy, right?
No, it
doesn't happen so easy. But actually, we did a whole episode on that. You can go back. It's one of our earlier ones. I think it was one of the first 5 episodes. The trouble, the minor troubles conceiving we had, it pales in comparison to some other couples that we know, right? And we were very fortunate in that situation. So, baby number 3 on the way. We're looking at an expected delivery date late May 2022.
Yes.
So I guess some episodes of the podcast in the imminent future will be perhaps related to now Tina's pregnant. She's 16 weeks, almost 16
weeks.
Almost 16 weeks. So we might be bringing some of those topics onto the show if you think that's a good idea.
Yes.
Because now she's going through a pregnancy and she's raising 2 kids. And we got a lot going on. She's working.
And I think it's relatable. I'm a working mom.
Very much
pregnant. So. You know, I wasn't working when I was pregnant with my second, with our second. So
that's true.
You know, it's still a completely different experience for me. And when I was pregnant with Sia, I was working, but I didn't come home and have other babies to take care of.
Yeah.
So every pregnancy brings on different challenges and new experiences. So yes, we will be addressing them along the way.
Especially when you have 2 little rascals running around and you got to take care of that. So
they're going to be great big sisters.
I hope so.
To their little sister, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or little brother?
We'll see. I don't know. Yeah.
I think you're team boy. I'll be team girl. Yeah. Okay.
What team are you on? Let us know. What do you think it's going to be? What's your gut telling you? Write us a message. We always love your feedback. Thank you so much for listening. As always, we truly appreciate it.
We really do. Thank you so much.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.